Yes, 12th class or economics, this table I just showed you yesterday, that there is a level of income, likewise you have taken then consumption and then investment. Aggregate demand is equal to consumption plus investment, that is household consumption expenditure and investment expenditure. Aggregate supply is equal to consumption plus saving. Why? Because aggregate supply is equal to income always. Whatever good monetary value of goods and services produced in your economy, that will be equal to income of that particular year in the economy, income generated in the economy. So income can be done in two ways, like income can be consumed or saved. So income is equal to consumption plus saving, or in that way you can say aggregate supply also is equal to consumption plus saving, because income and aggregate supply both are the same thing. And where is aggregate demand and aggregate supply? Aggregate demand and aggregate supply both are compared. Likewise, initially aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply, then it become equal, then it can be possible that aggregate supply is more than aggregate demand. So this is the this can happen. It will not happen automatically that aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply at once. Aggregate demand can be more than aggregate supply can be more than aggregate demand, and then they both are equal. So this is the equilibrium point where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. So you have to show all these things in the diagram also. Table you have made, as per the table I just made this diagram. You will see that aggregate this is the aggregate supply. You have to taken a very specific point. I have take I just took a very good distance from 0 to 100, 100 to 200, so that I can show all the points, because there is a very thin difference line between the many numbers. So aggregate supply is income line that is started from the origin and then it will go upward sloping. This is aggregate supply, and it will divide this particular segment into two equal parts. So aggregate supply is also known as line of reference. It is a 45-degree line because it dissects the whole this quadrant in the two equal halves, whole this part into equal halves. So that is why aggregate supply is 45-degree line and line of reference. Now aggregate demand is starting from the intercept of y-axis, that is here. You can give it a name also, t, suppose t I have given, that will be e ho gaya. A, you can give the name A. So it is starting from the intercept of y-axis at point A, and then going upward sloping, increases with the increase in income. That is the behavior of aggregate demand line. And then there is a consumption line. This is the consumption line. This B point, starting from the B point from the intercept of y-axis, and then it is going with the aggregate demand. It will be always below than the aggregate demand, because aggregate demand is equal to consumption plus investment. So that is why it is equal to these both, and so that aggregate demand automatically will be more than consumption. And consumption and aggregate demand both will be parallel to each other as they will move on, because the difference between aggregate demand and consumption is investment only, and investment is constant at all level of income. Investment basically here is a part of aggregate demand, and investment, which type of investment is that is a private investment expenditure which is considered as constant. Here it is considered it is as a constant, but otherwise private investment is not constant. It is induced investment. It increases with the increase in the level of income. But here as per the Keynes theory, we are assuming private investment expenditure is constant over there. That is why aggregate demand and consumption both are parallel to each other. You have to take the points like this. I just told you that I have taken a very good difference between the points, like 0 to 100, 100 to 200. So I can show easily everything, clearly everything over there. So this is the aggregate demand and aggregate supply. This is the aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Aggregate demand, here aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply. Now that they both become equal. Here at 500 level of income they become equal. Aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, and there aggregate supply is more than aggregate demand. So this is so, and this is the point 300 T point. There both are equal. Just I give the name it as a E, and then T point is there where aggregate supply is equal to consumption, because at one point aggregate supply is equal to, as you can see, aggregate supply, this is the level of income, is equal to consumption. So here also 300, at 300 level of income aggregate supply is equal to consumption. So earlier what happens that consumption is more than aggregate supply, this aggregate supply, this is consumption, this is consumption, this is aggregate supply. So consumption is more than aggregate supply at this point, and after point aggregate supply become more than consumption. So this is so, and aggregate supply, you can write income also here. So this is the point, which is a very important point which you have to show over there. Now what happens that in the case of consumption line, this is known as consumption line basically. So this is here as consumption line, and if you want to discuss the consumption line, then consumption line is also positively related with the income, and consumption function is also there. Likewise, you can study that, you can just go through this point, consumption function, that is given 183 page for your book. There is a consumption function that is known as household consumption function expenditure. So it is basically related to final consumption expenditure by the household. It is directly related to the level of income. Definitely when the income is increasing, consumption is also increasing, and the basically consumption and income is having the relationship with each other, because consumption is compared with the income. Consumption is a part of income, fine. And then basically there is always a minimum level of consumption even when income is zero. This is very important point, that there is a minimum level of consumption whenever income is zero. So that is known as autonomous consumption. Whatever minimum level of consumption is there when the income is zero, that is known as autonomous consumption. If you will go through this diagram, then there is a autonomous consumption, OB, that is a autonomous consumption, or you can say 60 rupees is a autonomous consumption. If you will go through the table, at zero level of income, 60 rupees is the autonomous consumption. So autonomous consumption, you will come to know, that is the consumption which is at minimum level of income. Autonomous consumption is represented as bar C, that is 60. You will write this. And here now next point is this leads to negative saving. Definitely, due to when there is a zero level of income and autonomous consumption is there 60, then income saving will be minus 60. So autonomous consumption always makes saving negative, because for autonomous consumption, income is zero and you are withdrawing the money from the saving, so that is minus 60. That definitely become minus 60, because there is a withdrawal from saving, and saving will be minus 60. Now consumption is positively related with income. Definitely when income rises, then consumption rises. This is the relation, this is a positive relation. And the entire the entire increase in income during any particular year is not converted into consumption. Increase in income cannot be equal to consumption, but income can be equal to consumption. As you can see, at zero level of income, minimum level of consumption exists, then consumption can be more than income at some point, and then income become is equal to consumption, and then income is more than consumption. So income can be equal to consumption, that is there. But change in income, what is a change? 100. There is a change of 100 rupees in every level of income, and change in consumption, that is 80 rupees at every level of consumption. That change in income always more than change in consumption, because change in income cannot be equal to change in consumption. Change in income cannot be entirely spent on the consumption. There must be some saving also. So at this point, the entire increase in income during a particular period cannot be converted into consumption, because part of that particular change is going to be saved also, and the rate at which consumption increases often less than the rate at which income increases. If you will go through the rate, how will you calculate the rate? That change in consumption upon old consumption into new. So there basically the rate that has been the income consumption changes, that will always be less than income. जो कंजम्पशन के इंक्रीज़ की रेट होगी वो हमेशा चेंज इन इनकम से कम ही होगी, ठीक है. The point where income is equal to consumption, that is also known as break even level income. So you have to remember this, that where the income is equal to consumption, there is the income is equal to consumption. That T point is the break even level, break even point, right? So you can make the table like this, just I made, and you can follow the table like this, that is given in your book also. That at zero level of income, consumption is taken as 20, and then there is a increase of 40 at every next level, and there is an increase of 15 consumption. So here what happens, that income is equal to consumption. That is very important. You have to make income is equal to consumption. Now 20 is the minimum level of consumption here and 0 level of income. So here also the diagram has been made that this is the consumption line with different color, and a different color income line you can make also. And here they both are equal, that is known as break-even point. And likewise, earlier the consumption is more than income, then income is more than consumption at next point of level. And then here also consumption rises with there is increase in income. Positive consumption line is positive related with income, and the rate at which consumption increases, that is lower than the rate at which income increases. And you have to show each and everything. Initially consumption is more than income, and at B point there is a break-even point, and after B point income is more than consumption. And the C line here, whatever is the C line, that is shows the consumption function over there. That consumption function, basically the behavior of consumption with respect to income. What is the behavior of consumption related to income? So consumption line is starting from the intercept of y-axis at minimum level of consumption. It is a minimum level. 20 is the autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption is only that level of consumption which is at 0 level of income, only at 0 level of income. And initially C line is above the Y line, that is 45-degree line, and then after that it remain below the consumption line. After B point, after becoming break-even point, after getting the break-even point, consumption is below the income. Here it is, right? And then what is the slope of consumption over there? Slope of consumption, next point is what is the slope of C line, slope of consumption line, that is the marginal propensity to consume. This is the next heading, marginal propensity to consume. Marginal propensity to consume is equal to change in consumption upon change in income. This is the marginal propensity to consume. So this is a consumption line, only consumption line is made over there. And how you can show the marginal propensity to consume under this line? You have to take 2 points. अगर आपको मार्जिन दिखाने आपको 2 पॉइंट्स लेने पड़ेंगे, ठीक है. ये एक पॉइंट है, ये दूसरा पॉइंट है. ये है चेंज इन इनकम और ये है चेंज इन कंजम्पशन. आप इस पॉइंट से इस पॉइंट पर आए तो दिस इज द चेंज इन कंजम्पशन, दिस इज द चेंज इन इनकम. सो चेंज इन कंजम्पशन अपॉन चेंज इन इनकम, दैट इज नोन एज द MPC, यानी कि मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम. एंड मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम इज कॉन्स्टेंट एट ऑल लेवल ऑफ इनकम वंस इट हैज़ बीन डिक्लेयर्ड और डिसाइडेड. सो दिस इज द MPC मीन्स मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम. ये मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम एक टेंडेंसी है कंजम्पशन की कि अगर चेंज इन इनकम होगा तो उसमें कितना चेंज इन कंजम्पशन होगा. वंस थ्रू आउट द टेबल इट विल बी सेम एज यू कैन सी इन दिस स्मॉल टेबल. इफ आई एम टेकिंग द चेंज इन इनकम हेयर, then it was 50 50 50 at all points. And change in consumption, if I take over there, that is the earlier though it was nothing, so we am starting from this point. Change in consumption is not there, is not defined over there, so that will be 40. And then there will be again 40 40. How? 60 minus 20 40, 100 minus 60 40, 140 minus 100 40. Here is also 50 minus 0 50, and 100 minus 50 50, 150 minus 100 50. So now the formula is change in consumption upon change in income. This is the formula of marginal propensity to consume. And here you will get that 40 by 50 and 0.8 you will get at all points. So this is the MPC, which is constant at all level of income. You can show this through table, and you can show also through diagram. This is just make the diagram and then show the change, and then you can calculate the slope of consumption line. This is the slope of consumption line. So margin is also considered as the slope of any line. Here is also marginal propensity to consume is considered as the slope of consumption line. That is the ratio between the change in consumption and change in income, and this is also known as marginal propensity to consume. So this is the one of the tendency of consumption. It shows that out of every additional rupee of income, 80% is spent as consumption expenditure. That is a marginal propensity to consume. Now APC and MPC. Next topic is APC, average propensity to consume. How you can calculate the average propensity to consume? So in the same way, average propensity to consume is to be calculated consumption by income. The formula is consumption by income. When you are talking about margin, that is change in consumption upon change in income. When you are talking about average propensity to consume, that is consumption by income. So that means 50 by consumption by income, 60 by 50, 100 by 100, and then 140 by 150, and you will get the consumption like average propensity to consume. Likewise 1.2, 1.9, likewise it will be average propensity to consume. Average propensity to consume can be equal to 1 and then it will decreases in the same way, but marginal propensity to consume remain constant at all level of income. So basic difference between that APC shows the consumption per unit of total income, because you are dividing consumption by income, and whereas the marginal propensity to consume shows the consumption per unit of additional income. So whatever additional income, whenever there is additional income, what is the changes in the consumption, that is marginal propensity to consume, and average propensity to consume is a consumption by income, so there is a consumption per unit of total income. So MPC is, as you saw, as you just noticed, that marginal propensity to consume is constant even at all level of income. So a C line is a straight line, increases with increase in income, and this is the explanation for that. Same explanation. Then there is a consumption function. Basically, we are talking about consumption. This is the formula of consumption function. C is equal to bar C plus by. So C is consumption function. Now you are calculating consumption at this particular level of income. So what is the bifurcation of all that? Bar C, that is, you know, that is a autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption means this is the consumption at zero level of income. So whatever the consumption is at zero level of income, that is bar C, autonomous consumption, plus B, that is marginal propensity to consume, and Y, that is income. B means marginal propensity to consume and Y means income. Whatever marginal propensity to consume you are getting, that we will put over there. And in the previous statement or table, you got the marginal propensity to consume, that is 0.8. So here I am putting 20 was the autonomous consumption as per this table, as you have just made that 20. Here is the 20 is the autonomous consumption, 0.8 is the marginal propensity to consume, and income you have taken at which level of income you want to calculate the consumption. So here autonomous consumption 20 plus B 0.8 into Y, whatever income you will put over there, you will get the consumption. Suppose income is 0, then definitely 20 plus 0.8 multiply by 0, you will get consumption 20. So whatever income you will put over there in Y, you will get the consumption as per. Suppose 50 income is there, then you will solve this, then you will get the 60 as your consumption. 100 at 100 level of income, you will get consumption 100. At 150 level of income, you will get the consumption 150. Suppose if you are getting the consumption, autonomous consumption and marginal propensity to consume, then you can calculate income over there. So two things are there, consumption and income. Autonomous consumption and B, four things are there basically: consumption, autonomous consumption, B and Y, and you are to calculate you must be given three things so that you can calculate the next one. So three things will be there: autonomous consumption, B or Y is there, and you are to calculating consumption. That might be possible that consumption, autonomous consumption and B will be there, and you have to calculate income at that level of income, at that level of consumption. So that is the basically estimated value of consumption, which are exactly the same, and then we can find out the consumption through this formula, and this is the formula of consumption function. So what is the formula? Algebraical presentation of consumption function, that is C is equal to bar C plus by, and this is the way you are calculating consumption at all level of income. There is a small numerical is over there, that is find C when autonomous consumption is equal to 200, MPC 0.5 and Y is equal to 1000. So there is C is equal to bar C plus MPC Y. Then you have to calculate here consumption. So 200 is autonomous consumption plus 0.5 and Y 1000, and then you get the consumption, that is C is equal to 700. That means we can say at 1000 level of income, consumption is 700. Next question, it is asked in the notes that would consumption function be linear in the case MPC is constant? Give support of your answer. Definitely yes, consumption function would be linear in case of MPC is constant, and reason is there that MPC makes the C line straight line, because when the slope is constant, then definitely the C line will be straight line. Here the slope is constant, that is 0.8 you have just calculated. If you will calculate in any of the question, then MPC will find that the same MPC you will get. So C line means that there is a consumption function is linear because the change is constant at all level of income. As you have calculated the consumption, that is 0 at 20, same table they are following in the next saving function also. Suppose this is the income 0, 50, 100, 150, and consumption 20, 60, 100 and 140, and then you will calculate the saving over there, because the formula of saving is income minus consumption. So there is a saving minus 20, minus 10, 0, plus 10. Saving can be negative, can be 0, can be positive. but income is always positive at every level of income. Even at zero level of income, consumption exists, and minimum level of consumption is known as autonomous consumption, which is also shown as consumption C bar. Fine. Now we are talking about the saving. Saving is also positively related with income. As you see, income increases, saving is also increases. Although that it was negative earlier, but then slowly it has been increasing. Fine. So if you will make the diagram for this particular saving over there, then you have to take the income point at x-axis, like level of income, and on y-axis saving, and then you have to draw the saving line. It is starting from the negative intercept of y-axis. At 0 level of income it is minus 20, and then at 50 level of income it is minus 10, and then 100 it is equal to 0. So that will cross the x-axis. So saving line touches the x and y-axis both, and then at 150 level of income saving become positive, that is 10. So saving will be like this, starting from the negative intercept of y-axis, and then touches the x-axis, then become positive. So this is the saving line. This is a table. So saving line, you have to show all that saving line is positively related with the income, and starting from the negative intercept, and all this you have to write likewise. That is written over there also. Very good explanation is given over there. If you will write this, then you will get full marks of that. And there you have to clear the formula also, that income is equal to consumption plus saving. This formula must be written over there. Then at 0 level of income there is a saving, that is minus 20. It is also known as autonomous saving also. That is also autonomous saving. At 0 level of income it becomes negative. Consumption and saving both are calculated with income. As income increases, both are increases, but the behavior you have noticed and you have to write in this particular way. Or you can, if your saving function is so much stress given in your suppose in your question, then you have to make the diagram like this, and you can explain all the points likewise. Fine. Like at 0 level of income saving was negative, and then saving touching the negative intercept of y-axis, and then it crosses the at 100 level of income it is become equal to saving is equal to saving at 100 level of income saving becomes 0, and then after touching the y-intercept saving become positive. After 100 level of income saving become positive. Likewise you can write down over there. This is the saving function you have to follow up.